channel. All right, let's do a little reading. What did I write in the description? It was, what's holding you back? What is holding you back? What needs to be released? What are you masking? I'm gonna make coffee while we do this, all right? You're at my mid-time coffee break. Okay, welcome to the channel. What's up? What's going on, friends? My name is Stormie Calder. I am a vibey coach, a shaman, a psychic medium. I'm hearing spiritual director. I don't usually use that term, but maybe I'm moving more there. Spiritual director, soul director. I know your soul. I know your soul. If you're wondering what that's like, everyone thinks I'm a soulmate because I know everyone's soul. But that's real. When you connect with people at the soul level, all of my soul contracts are soul contracts. Like, they're not human contracts. I'm here to help people wake up. So when you touch someone's soul, they go like, whoa, like, I must keep you here for life. And I'm like, no. It was my job just to poke you. Like, let me get out. Like, I don't know what's coming up. Anyway, I'm going to do a little reading for you guys. What's holding you back? What are you masking? What are you masking on the heart space that needs to be released to let the good stuff in? All right. If you are interested in working with me, I would say one-to-one, but it's really in a group setting. That's really magical. Check out the source code. It's my Feminine Ascension program. Enlightenment program, where I teach you enlightenment from the feminine perspective, which comes down to embracing knowledge, wisdom, softness, sweetness, understanding all of that from the place of like just divine feminine energy. Is very sensual. It's very peering into the veil and understanding the subtle sensual energetic dynamics that never need to be spoken. They're just like felt and known, and it's really cool and vibey. I think you're gonna love it. I'm teaching arcane magic. I'm teaching how enlightenment works, and all about the fairy realm, the multidimensional elemental realms. So if that's your vibe, go ahead and sign up. I will leave a link in the description below. Okay. What needs to be released? What mask on the heart needs to be released? I think I'm gonna do this in, let me focus for a sec, let's see. What mask needs to be released off of the heart? Do you want me to do 1, 2, 3 piles? What's going on? 1. Take what you love, leave the rest. If it resonates, take it. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. What mask needs to be released off of the heart space to receive your blessings? What mask needs to be released off of the heart space to receive it? Whoa. Damn. These cards are running. Also, hold on. You guys gotta see my pants. I'm so thrilled with them. I'm like in my 60s vibe. There's like smiley faces on them. I can't. Okay. All right. And what else do I want to pull? Do I want an animal card? Ooh, you know what, you guys? This is my favorite. Oh, let's do this. I used this deck mainly when I was in a major transition. Career transition, relationship transition, spiritual transition. So I'll get this one for you guys too. This is like really, it's a special deck. I never use it. What's the mask on the heart that needs to be released? Actually, let's ask for the high. Give me the higher energy. Oh, hello. Okay. Okay, guys. What needs to be released? Okay. The mask on the heart is what I was asking. What mask needs to be released off of the heart? We mask the heart just like how we mask our minds. You can think about it like when you're in conversation with someone or what have you. Like, what are you holding back? What's not being said that's laying on top of your heart space that's literally preventing you from accessing what you need, either from people or the quantum time space, right? It came out as the companion. Loyal tenacity and unselfishness. So what's the mask would be the betrayal by misusing confidence and loss of personal identity. Okay, let me channel into this for a sec. What's the mask on the heart of the companion? False companion, false flames. Okay, so what you need to release to step into your blessings are any deep soul connections, which is like anyone that you've really attached to at some point in your life, creates a soul tie. Whether or not they are soul mates, it is a soul tie. And even if they're dormant friendships, people that maybe you haven't spoken to in a year or something like that, but you have a lot of love and attachment, but there's something about that relationship not syncing up. When we have a lot of those sorts of relationships in our heart space, we can't receive the presence of what is here now that opens up and unfolds for us in a way where we actually can perceive and see new opportunities, because the heart, even though the mind might be clear, but the heart is attached to the past and what people could be, or maybe people's potential in coming back into your life. They're showing me, just like for my example, just scanning through some friendships that I have kind of dormant, I would say in my mind, but it's actually on my heart is what they're showing me. And it's like releasing them and being like, it's okay if I never speak to that person in my life again. Like, yes, I did love them. Yes, it was cool at some point. But, you know, when you do a lot of personal growth work and you do a lot of change and development, you change. And when you change, you can't stay the same anymore. So to have the same relationships, even if these people are lovely, and even if you loved them at one point in your life, by keeping even just their etheric presence in our mind, we prevent ourselves from actually being able to occupy and step into the fullest expression of the now, which is to receive your, I'll call gently your manifestations, but really I like to say your blessings, your money, your opportunities, your, I don't know, what do you want? What do you want? That. What do you want? That. I don't know the new moon that's coming up. Is it a full moon or a new moon? I think it's a new moon. Maybe I'll check into it because it's probably kind of based on those themes. But the companion, you know, the dark side of this card is codependency. So it's like, because I asked for the mask, we're tapping into the shadow of what companion is. And it's just like it's like a love that's not pure. It's because maybe someone did something for you in the past that made you attached to them in a good way. Like maybe they helped you, maybe they provided something for you, maybe they did something that made you love them, but maybe you have changed today. And maybe it's a good time to say, I honor those traits from the past in those people, but I no longer need to carry them with me today, here and now, into my current chapter. I think where people stumble a lot, I've been thinking about this a lot recently, is we really do attach to past relationships. So like, I'm in my mid-late 30s, and I'm like, you know, that's enough time of life to have many phases of many friendships and many relationships. And a lot of times through like I don't know, through bulks of 5 to 7 years, I'll circle back on relationships, or they'll like jump back into my life in one way or another. And I'm still okay with that, but I've changed so much. I've changed so much. I've grown so much. I've evolved so much. I've evolved so much. And also perhaps you've evolved so much, that I'm actually, and this is the space that I think is being suggested by spirit, if it resonates for you to sit into, is like, I'm actually like 1,000% okay just starting legitimately from scratch. Like legitimately, I don't know that I care. I've got like 2 people in my life that I need, that, you know, and it's not even from need, but there is a strong need. I would call them, I guess I would call it family, but by no means are they related to me. But there's just like a collaborative, like these people have known me for a very, very long time. They just know me. They just get me. Our soul contracts are our full life contracts. And that's been made obvious to me. So I'm like, okay, like I got those two, like the rest can go. So maybe you guys need to think like this. The mask on the heart is like, it's like, oh, but what about this person? Or, oh, I want to take this person with me. Or, oh, and maybe you guys have more relationships. You know, if you're younger, you'll have more too, because when you're in your 20s, generally you're going to have family members with you. I've just purged a lot of relationship. I am lucky enough where I have that many family contacts, and I'm relishing in it, actually. There are two ways you can look at any equation. We can cry about it or laugh about it, and I promise you mine is freedom. Freedom! So the mask on the heart is... Hold on, I'm trying to make coffee and channel at the same time, right? Spirit, tell me what else we need to know about releasing this mask. They're telling me don't wait, don't delay it. I don't know what that means. We'll tap into it a little bit more as a channel, but it's like, don't worry about what this channel means. I don't know. I'm just gonna stream through. Don't worry about what this channel means. Oh, just release the mask. Okay, so the mask is like it's like a shadow cocoon space on the heart. You don't have to make sense of this, you just have to release it. And right now, if this feels right for you and you'd like to release this, you can ask your higher self and your higher mind to go ahead and scissor cut the cocoon on top of the heart space. It's like a white, shadowy cocoon, almost, yeah, like a cocoon, like a butterfly cocoon. But it's not for butterfly. And it's like if you just chop it off with your higher self, you could just set the intention, your higher self will do this for you, and pull it off. That mask is the idea of these false flames. They're not all romantic. I'm just hearing false flame. You can have a flame for a friend. You can have, it's just an attachment. It's a soul tie. Again, not related to soulmate. We can create lots of soul ties in one life. It's karma. It's like this for this. They could be good relationships from the past, but regardless, anyway, Spirit's saying don't worry about the channeled message that I've specifically dictated. Just ask your higher mind, ask your higher self to cut the wounding patterns out of the heart. And the wounding patterns are this mask, the idea that you need to hold back for other people to continue on the journey with you. When the reality is the right people will continue, the wrong people won't. And I'm going to be so honest with you guys. I love you, but I know spiritual communities, peoples, is everyone wants to bring everyone with them. Well, let me save this person and this person and this person. It's like, let it all go. Save yourself, babe. Like that's all we got here. That's all we got. Like save yourself. How do you save yourself? You just drop all the baggage. There's no like, I have to do this for me. I have to grow in these ways. You're going to grow naturally. Growth is natural. Have you ever seen a butterfly? Like they come out of this fat ass caterpillar that just eats and eats and eats and eats and eats all day. That's what all of you guys are doing. It's like in the best possible way. Okay. You're eating and eating and eating and eating, consuming material, digesting ideas, trying to tap into your soul. And then at some point you get really fat. I love this. With ideas, with insight, with inspiration, and with relationships that are a little dead or that like need to be let go. And it's like just allowing the process of the natural evolution of growth. People try to over accelerate growth a lot. I won't say that I'm not one of those because I am, but I had a lot of trauma and a lot of challenges in my life. So I really did have to over accelerate to get to a stable place for myself. And I feel like a lot of my audience is in that place as well. So anyone with like steep childhood wounding patterns or CPTSD, anything like that. But it's about allowing the natural process of evolution, which is like There's only gonna be a couple people, babe, that make it through your whole fucking life. That's it. Only a couple people. And I'm young. But like, I think like I'm in my 70s. I feel like I think old. I have an eternal mind. But there's this real, like, you can either have your personal evolution or you can have someone else's limitations. So which is it? Some of you are living for people that have died as well, and that's a whole nother thing because those people aren't actually here. They're already on the other side. Like, stop living for them, live for you. Like, what do you want? You know, a lot of people don't go after their goals or actually step into the intentions of what they want to create until this life, until their parents die. Because it's traumatizing to try to override your initial familial programming and deal with bucking the system that made you. It's very difficult. I'm not saying not to have relationships with people. I'm saying, what do you want more? Do you want a relationship with yourself? Do you want a relationship with others? I feel like, you know, they're telling me to go here, so I know this will help someone. I've been criticized a lot in the past around like my lack of attachment, like just like not attaching to people, or I've been labeled like flighty a lot, or like non-committal, and it's not true at all. None of it's true. I'm like such a loyal, dedicated, committed person. I just don't commit to things that don't feel right, and I know when they feel right or not. Those of you that are air signs will be able to vibe into that. I'm a Libra. Libras always get labeled like, what do you call it? Like that we're flipsy, and we're not. We're not. We just know what we want, and we don't commit when it doesn't feel right. A lot of people overcommit to things that don't feel right, or they don't know right. They just don't know any better. They just don't know any better. And if you're seeing my channel now, I think Spirit is saying, we think you do know better, and if you don't, Stormie's telling you now, so you can start to sit into it and think about it. I asked for the high vibrational energy, and the flexibility card came out. This is about being mentally flexible and being flexible with your behaviors. So what's not working for you right now? What habits are just like not taking you places? Like they're old, maybe you like them, but they're like not working for you, okay? Those need to be changed out. You need to look at your own behavioral patterns and have behavioral flexibility where you're very adaptable in the moment as far as like, what's a new behavior I need? I don't know, like, can you guys give me an example? No, I don't have an example. But I do have my Chemex. We got my goofy vibe here today. Also, this tiger is all about primal instinct. So it's about moving on instinct and less on your mind. Allowing your mind to be eternally flexible is about moving through, I don't know how else to say this right now. Primal instinct, not lower primal instinct. It's not about like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like that's not, like we're not going into that level of primal instinct. When I say primal instinct, I mean how the soul moves through the body automatically with intuition in the moment where you're not given a mental knowing. You don't know if something's going to work or what you're going to do. You just do it. So fast example, like earlier in my life, I lived in upstate New York. I wanted to move to New York City, but I had a business upstate. And everyone that knew me just gave me a million and one excuses. They're like, don't move to New York City. This is going to happen. 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 Which is crazy because I had 3 best friends living in Manhattan at the time. And I was just like, why am I getting all this eternal negativity? So anyway, I made the decision. This is the sort of person I am. So this is the impulse. This is the primal instinct. I have a strong primal instinct. Like, so that's why they're having this come through with me right now. Take the impulse. What's the desire? Is it strong? And this one, for me, moving to Manhattan was primal, like fucking root chakra, like I'm moving. Like that was just, I was locked in and locked on. And then I moved to Brooklyn. I'm not saying things are perfect here, but you know, even when you're primal instinct, like you move, like shit's got to move out of the way because you're becoming the bulldozer for your timeline and in the quantum, and sometimes it's just not pretty. But when you work on that primal instinct and you don't think about it, things literally just move into place. So like I made the decision, 3 days later, my best friend calls me and goes, "Hey, I'm going to Australia for 4 weeks. Do you want the apartment? I need someone to house sit." I was like, what? What? I was like, "Did you know I was going to move to New York?" And she's like, "No, but you may as well. Come on down." I was like, "Okay." It's like that's like the primal instinct, the primal moves. Also, what's in this card, and again, this is the high vibrational stuff. This is like where you can kind of reach to and move into. This is all bamboo. Okay, and I don't remember, you guys can look up online, the specifics about bamboo as a plant is that it's something like this, but I may not be exactly accurate, okay? So bamboo takes several years to grow under the soil. Also, it's 2:22 in Pacific time, so 222, we've got our balanced numbers. 2 is all about balance, it's all about harmony, it's all about relationship. This is relationship between your primal instinct and your mind releasing its ego, releasing its need to control, releasing what the outcome looks like. So bamboo, I believe, grows underground for like 3 years, or it might not be that long. I don't remember. It's something like this though. Okay, follow the rough equation with me. It grows underground for a very, very, very long time and shows nothing. And then within 3 months, it shoots up 70 feet. So what have you been working on? What have you been growing into? Assuming that it's not working yet, or that you don't know or can't see the results. And like the results are like right here, like they're coming. You know what I used to say in my coaching practice? I was an entrepreneur coach too, personal branding coach for a long time. And I used to say all the time to people, I was like, don't quit when you're 3 feet from gold. Like, just keep fucking going. Like, you're 3 feet from gold and you don't know it yet. Do you know how many people quit because they're just like tired and they're just like, oh, it's never gonna happen? And it's like, don't stop. Keep growing. Keep going. The results always pay off. As long as you are tapped into your primal instinct, it will pay off. If you're tapped into solely your mind and you're just like matrix driven, like I have to make this much money, it has to be money, power, sex, like that's not the primal driver. That's your ego through your lower chakras. The primal driver is your lower instinctual awareness of how you move through reality, knowing that growth is a product of natural evolution. Also, there are 2 ways to move through life. You're either growing or you're dying. Find your path. It depends on how you see the universe. If you see reality being more positive or more negative, because I've heard a lot of people be like, well, we're all just like on the way to death. And I'm like, that's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. No offense, but I got issues with it. And then, they're like, oh, we're all dying. It's like, how many spiritual practitioners I've heard be like, we start dying when we're born. I'm like, what? Is it a fact? Like, yeah, but no. That's not how time works. If you were dying from the moment that you were birthed, or you were dying through your life, you would be dead. You're actually living through your life until it's time to expire and release. To liberate, to be in moksha. And how you relate to that process of personal growth really dictates whether or not you're happy during the process. You know how so many people talk about like how to get happiness, chase happiness. Here's what I feel about happiness. I feel like we all have the option to be happy every day. Generally speaking, I would label myself a happy person, but I wouldn't say I'm forwardly happy. I would just say that I focus on my priorities and I allow myself to release things that don't work. And I don't force myself to work myself into patterns, molds, or behaviors with people, places, or things that I don't enjoy. And that doesn't mean that there aren't people around me that I have to deal with or what have you. Like, of course, but I'm not molded into their pattern. Um, I think for me, for whatever reflection this is helpful for you guys, like happiness and freedom are very like side by side synonymous for me. So most people think of happiness as like a really dialed up, like vibrant, joyful energy. And I used to be able to tap into it, but it's actually a little bit harder for me now. Now happiness is actually just, I'm like, oh, I've like created a life. Like I have spent the time to grow underground, and then I shoot up in bursts, like with the 70 feet growth, like the bamboo tree. And I've been working so hard at designing my life intentionally and my relationships intentionally and how I express myself intentionally, my business intentionally, the way I work with clients intentionally, that it just feels so freeing. Like I have so much freedom, and that's happiness for me. So I think what's important in understanding your growth and flexibility patterns is understanding what happiness is for you and how you're identifying to your time cycle to time. How are you identifying to time? Do you see time as a loss or as a gain? If you see it as a loss, I promise you, you are just losing life force. Okay. The other two cards that came out were courage and success. So again, we have this growth shoot, right? The bamboo shoot, you're in a high growth period. How you identify to that growth matters significantly. Have the courage to change. Also have the courage to change others when you change. So when you change other people's expressions as well, because they can no longer relate to you the same way. Or they might think differently about you. I've been really thinking about this a lot. I'm like, man, you know, I know a lot of these people from my past are now contemplating me in a certain light or a certain way that I don't know that I like. And I've just been, I'm offering an example or a model for it. I've just been like shutting it off. I'm just like, do I need their validation? Okay, I might have known them since I was 22, but do I need that? Or can I let them have their opinions about me and their own lives and not interfere with them and not make it mean anything about me? And not try to go back and save face or pretend. That's the mask. Pretend. They're showing me like if I were to go back and try to pretend to these people that we're still kind of friendly, or like fall into past patterns of behavior that I used to have in my past. I could be very people pleasing. And anyone that starts to come out of me, like I just stop now. And I go, do I want that behavioral pattern? The only reason why it's coming out, because I've already worked it through, I'm not a people pleaser, but it's like, the reason why it's coming out is because that person holds an idea in their mind of who I was and is holding me to that idea. So then it's up to me to cut the cord to that idea or that projection and just be who I am now, and not fall subconsciously into unconscious patterns of who I used to be. These are old timelines is the way I would call them, because time is not linear. It's all right now. So like when these different ideas of who you used to be or different behavioral patterns like come forward into the now moment, you're activating timelines that have already died because of someone else's presence, because they're holding an image of you or a vibration of you in that timeline. That's the mask over the heart. So release the time. And that might literally be like, release the time. Like, oh, I want to go get coffee with you. Like, can we hang out? And you're like, I just started a business. I don't have the time for this. No, we can't hang out. Or like, no, I'm not going drinking this weekend. Or no, I'm not doing this. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Goodbye. Also, just vibes. Look at my new mug. I'm such a goofball today. I don't even know what to do with it. Where do these people in this stream come from? Are you real? Who are these egoic entities? Hilarious. Look, this is all men too, for all the women on my stream. Look at the nonsense these men just dump into stream. They're just like, I got a cock, let me like throw it around. Like, get out of here. Nobody invited you. Also, I will not ever not be me. I'm sorry. I notice it all the time. I'm like, you know what? My language, like I could improve it, and I might in the future. But I like it. I like being this forward in the way that I am. I like speaking in this way. I think because so many spiritual people just like polish their language so much, and I'm just like, get over it. Let's get real. Also, polished language is beautiful. I'm just not there right now. Okay. Let me think about what else I want to do here. Spirit, where do you want to take me? We said releasing the mask. Give me a sec, guys. I gotta like tune it. Sometimes my guides give me messages that are for me versus you guys. Oh, prayer cards. Okay, what's a good question I should ask right now? What do we need to anchor the message into our heart? What do we need to anchor the message into our heart? This is light language, light code. Change. You need change. You need to embrace change. You need to embrace change in an uplifting way. So there's a couple things going on here, right? This is, oh my God, what is it called? The carousel horse? So it's kind of like a make-believe horse, and it's being held up by a hot air balloon with a mystical sunset. So there's a level of mysticism in the change that you're making. There's a level of imagination. There's a level of inner child play. And regardless of gender, there's a level of inner femininity that's being engaged because of this. I don't know, the horse just comes off feminine to me. The hot air balloon. Tell me about the hot air balloon, Spirit. Release the idea that you won't rise. Like, if you just dump weight. Oh, that's how hot air balloons rise. Okay, got it. So in hot air balloons, the way that they elevate is they drop sandbags. So if you just focus on releasing the mask of the heart, releasing ideas, relationships, really just ideas of yourself around relationships that are no longer working for you. And that can be a relationship to yourself, a relationship to an addiction, a relationship to a substance, a relationship to an idea, a relationship to your ego, a relationship to a thought, a relationship to a habit, a relationship to a way of thinking or a way of being. It doesn't have to be people. Companions are whatever spirits you're working with, and everything has a spirit. So the focus to gain access to your blessings, to gain access to what is in the highest coming to you, that wants to come to you, if you just focus on releasing the sandbags from your heart, releasing the baggage, releasing the drama, you will rise naturally. Again, there's this theme of natural evolution. Evolution doesn't need to be forced. Everything is always evolving. Life is always evolving. You know, like my plants are always growing. Like I just water them. All I do is water them, and I speak nice things. I'm like, I love you. You're cute today. Everything's naturally growing, and the things that are in decay or are dying, we can release. You know, like even my, God, I have so many plants. This plant back here had some bugs, whatever, I forget what they're called. Mealy bugs on them. And I got frustrated because it used to be really, really, really big. It was huge. And over the last 2 weeks, it's probably lost like 30% of its leaves. And I'm not gonna lie, it makes me sad. But I just kind of like tapped into it, and I was like, okay, clearly, and for any of you, like plants in your environment, plants in your home reflect your own energy. So I was like, okay, I'm clearly releasing some old stuff. Like, it's not going to come back. But what I can do is remove the dead foliage. What I can do is spray and get rid of the bugs that drive me insane. What I can do is water it, make sure the roots are good. What I can do is speak to it. What I can do is give it more airflow. What I can do is assume the best through positive expectation that my plant will grow back. with what it has now, because there's plenty of health on it. Just half of it had to go, right? So like, I mean, that's your heart. The heart is always growing. The heart's kind of like a hedge, a plant, an elemental energy in combination with your soul energy. And sometimes things just need to go. And it doesn't mean the whole plant's gonna die. Like I have another one in recovery. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I like, not like save plant, but like when there are plants on the side of the road and stuff, they're struggling. Like, you know when there's clippings on the side of the road? This is one I need to plant. I take them and I replant them. So there's they're not perfect, is my point. They're already, like, this one's a little dehydrated and needs some support because it needs soil. So I need to take care of this, but it's already like a little wounded. I don't know. It's like missing some water. It's not as vibrant because it was probably on the side of the road for a week or something, and then I brought it in. So I'm constantly monitoring my plants, and I think I would encourage you to look at your heart space this way. Like this one is one a friend gave me, and this one's struggling, but it was struggling when my friend gave it to me, and I'm trying to feed it with fertilizer because I like to see things come back, and I really think this will come back. We know the fairies are with me today. This is very elemental. If you're wondering what shamanic is, it's this. This one too. Okay, so these three I got on the side of the road as well that were like clipped off, dying. And probably like a couple months ago, and they're just growing so much. Like, I don't even know. And these two talk to me all the time. They show me my growth patterns. They reflect them back to me. So consider your heart space a garden. And how are you watering it or nurturing it? What needs to go? Like, I mean, gently, like, this is a dead piece of succulent. We don't need that, you know. You do need to nurture your heart. You need to water your heart. You need to be clear about what is growing in your heart. And truly, the heart evolves naturally. It doesn't need aggressive growth. It just needs care, love, and attention, affection, and protection. And the protection is the one that most people miss, because they allow lots of people into their heart space that hurt them, but they don't know it. It's shadow work. I would love women in my stream commenting. The rest of you can get lost. With all the love. For me. Okay. Any last messages? Let's pull a power animal, shall we? What do you need on the road less traveled? What totem do we need? For personal natural evolution. No, that's too many. Give me one card. Oh, I love my spirit guides. Butterfly, transformation. What was I saying to you? You're in the cocoon. Chop the cocoon off your heart and let your wings expand. Get ready for a big breakthrough. If you caught my May energy update, the breakthrough is coming in June at a big collective level. So this is like you're shedding off the layers of the heart that were masked. You're starting to learn how to work your wings. Sometimes I literally do exercises to feel like my wings can fly, because one of my main core values is freedom. And I try to feel my wings. Get ready to take flight. I don't know what that flight is for you. I think you're going to know, but it's probably a big, bold move, because I was referencing moving to New York City. So that's going to be a parallel for a lot of you guys, likely. Like, that was a big move for me. It was a big adjustment. Like, and And it really had nothing to do with New York and everything to do with what I was choosing away from. I was choosing away from a lot of business contacts, business relationships, networking. I was choosing away from family members. I was choosing away from people's ideas of what I should do with my life. Like, everyone was like, don't move to Manhattan. I was like, why the hell wouldn't I? I'm like 24. Like, why wouldn't I do that? Like, and I already, it's crazy. It's like your next move is like obvious. Like, so for me, for New York, at this point in my life, I was like, I already have 3 best friends living there. Like, literally. It's an easy move. It's a lateral shift. But there was so much codependent nonsense, just like people's opinions. Also, know what's not right for you, because I think around the same time, or maybe it was 6 months earlier, I was like, oh, I'm gonna move back to Burlington, Vermont. I lived in Vermont for years, and then I moved back to upstate New York, and then I was thinking about moving back to Vermont, and there were some positive signs, and then I got these just like real nasty synchronicities. So like, that's what you need to see when you're at a crossroads. It's like you're making the choice from 2 positions. What is not the right choice? Like, you'll know. And then what is the right choice? You'll know. Both will be obvious. So for me, the move to Vermont was obvious that I wasn't supposed to move back to Vermont. It was like that chapter of my life was over. Like, don't try to go revisit like old flames. Nothing having to do with romantic anything. Just like the idea of like old relationships, old ways of being, tapping back into old versions of yourself. And I was over my upstate New York version of myself. And I was like, it's time for the Manhattan move. And I won't say that shit was easy, because it wasn't. It was not. It was not. But it was easier than staying upstate complacent. Also, look at the costs of your life, the cost of your lifestyle, because it was the same cost for me to, literally financially, it was the same amount of money for me to stay in upstate New York in a small town and die. I'm being over dramatic. Versus like be expansive and move to Manhattan. Same cost. Literally. And New York City is the most, like, it's like one of the most expensive cities in the world. And that's the irony of this. The place I was staying upstate, or not place, my home upstate was like, it's relative. Like, I can live in Manhattan or Brooklyn for like the same cost. And Spirit and God want to help me, like, figure it out. Again, was not easy. Depending on whether or not you can maintain and sustain that level of growth and change, you can fall back and you can develop a lot of trauma along the way. You really have to maintain mental flexibility to keep your high in your mind so that you can be positively expectant. When I look back in my life, I don't regret any of my leaps. None of them. They had to happen. What I could have done better was have my mind in a better place so that I could believe that it could work out. Because it was going to work out anyway. It did work out anyway. I'm seeing 4 5s across my timers over here too. If you need any, 5s are big change. That's the number of change. It was going to work out anyway. It did work out anyway. But I encountered a lot of trauma along the way, which we all do, honestly. Like, if you're any sort of growth-oriented person, you're going to make moves and you're going to create trauma along the way because, I mean, you don't know. You just don't know. Like, you don't know without growing experience. And how are you going to know and learn and grow without getting experience? And when you're young and you get experience, and young is relative. Could be your 20s, could be your 40s, could be your 60s. I don't know. Could be your 80s. You know, when you're young, you need reference points to see what works, what doesn't work for you, what you like, what you don't like. So, like, you can't avoid the journey. One of the other journeys, somebody's going to be traveling abroad soon, like living abroad, for whoever that message is for, because this is coming through really clearly. When I studied abroad in Florence and Sicily, I split my time between both, and that was a huge jump as well. Everyone was like, you're not going to Italy. And I was like, fuck you, I'm going to Italy. I was like, I'll figure it out. They're like, how are you going to figure it out? I was like, I don't know. I'll fucking figure it out. I'll figure it out. Like, and when I was there, you guys are stepping into real adventure territory. That's like what I'm seeing and hearing, because they keep bringing me to these specific experiences that are when I leap, when I'm in my most free states. So when I was there, I did pretty much all solo travel. Decide what you want and do it. Like I don't know. I was young, but I was like, I want to negotiate buying a bicycle in Italian. And then I'm going to ride that bicycle down to Sicily. Rome was a nightmare. I biked through Sardinia. When I got to Sicily, I went around Etna with the bike, and like, so many men tried to marry me. That's what they do. I don't know. I got a wedding ring while I was down there. Like, and I put it on and I was like, I'm good. And there will be helpers along the way, guardians along the way. Like one of the towns I went to in Sicily, I was being kind of chased down the street by this like 50-year-old man that was like yelling at me like, I want to marry you to my son. And I was like, oh dear God, like get out of here. And I had the ring on too. And this Canadian couple like stepped out of a restaurant, and I saw them, and they just looked at me. They saw what was happening. They were like, come here. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's figure this out. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. Buongiorno. Okay, bye. Like, I don't know. It's funny. And it was like a situation that was kind of awkward, but I knew I was safe, and there were guardians on the path to keep me safe. In that whole journey, I did all of this travel solo, and adventure travel solo as well. God bless my process, you know. I also love to negotiate. You guys are going to be negotiating. I negotiated the bike. I negotiated different stays along the way in Italian, which I can't really speak now. I kind of mixed up Italian and Spanish in my brain. They like scramble. But I will say buon pomeriggio. And I am Italian. Look for the fancy things. Look for the fun things on your trip, on your journey, stepping into your blessings. You're not just all of a sudden going to come into blessing. Like, you discover your way to blessing by releasing the past, by opening yourself up to the new change, by walking forward on your path, allowing your higher mind to guide you, which is the butterfly. Allow your higher mind to guide you, your higher self, and create new companions in the moment. Like, who are the guardians right now? Who are the companions on the moment? So my little Italian story, like, they were this Canadian couple that was like, hey, we got you. And I remember them asking me too. They were like, do you feel safe? Because they were going to stay in the restaurant with me. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And was I? Yeah. Like, truly. Why are you guys bringing me to this? Somebody needs this, man. It's so funny. I haven't thought about these memories in a very, very long time. And I don't have like an active memory bank for my past. So when they come up, I know they're for you guys. I know there's like reference points for you to learn from. I don't know if I want to go into that. I think that'll open up too much energy. Freedom is taking a big leap, making it safe, adjusting your expectations for the journey, and walking the fucking walk, and dealing with whatever comes up along the way by creating new relationships, new partnerships, allowing yourself a new space to grow naturally with a natural, easy evolution, while keeping your head on a swivel. You know, like I just saw this defense card. Oh, and change right behind it. Okay, keep your head on a swivel. Like, when you're in new territory, both energetically, emotionally, when you're moving, when you're traveling, like, keep your head on a fucking swivel. Like, have a good time. Yeah, be open. Yeah, and, like, if it looks weird, it's weird. There were plenty of, like, predators on the path in Italy which is why I bought a wedding ring. Like, I went into a little shop, and there was this beautiful silver puzzle ring. And I asked the shop owner, I was like, what is this? And they were like, that's a wedding ring. And I was like, oh yeah, we're done. Like, that's happening right now. Which didn't deter everyone either, by the way. Just humiliating for them. So defense, keep yourself on a strong defense, just strong protection. And change. Allow yourself to change. Focus on defense, because as you're changing, you need to defend yourself. Because while you're mid-cocoon, or you're in the middle of a change state or change process, you are not as solid as you are before and after the change, right? So you got to be a little bit more protective. The protection is coming from the wisdom of your higher mind. I think, oh gosh, oh my gosh, in the next card, oh my god, how many more things do we have here, guys? What are you concealing? Let it go. Release it. Take it out of your heart space. It's done. It's done, baby. It's done. Okay, that's what I got. If you enjoyed this message, please like the video, subscribe, tap the bell for notifications. I love all the new subbies I've been getting into my channel. Source Code Framework is open for monthly membership. Please come join us if you are guided. It's a program for feminine ascension. So I was going to do this for men as well. I did for a minute, but it's like, it's a very soft program, meaning like my energy in it is very open and loving, and it's softer. It's more in the elemental realm of energy magic and energy work, which is a very, very soft energy. So I'm leaving that open for women, those of you that want to work with me. There are several times a week I post like 10 to 20 minute short videos. I post meditations that are actual like energy work activations that help keep your energy protected for the here and now. As I'm actually doing my ascension work, you're leaning on my own ascension framework. I'm sharing you what I'm going through, as far as like things that I'm stumbling on, as far as resources that I love and adore that I share with you guys. And then I also share master classes on how ascension works, arcane magic, how the universe works, the fairy realm, elementals, shamanism, and all of the good things. There's also private podcasts on there as well. There's a chat feed. You can talk to me, ask me your questions. I'll answer them. That's what I got. I'm getting really hot. I think I need to close my window, get the AC on, and get a move on it. So if you're interested, go ahead and check out that link in the description below. Send me an email if you have any questions. Ignore all the comments. These are literally all men with illnesses. There's nothing sane about this comment section. All right, that's what I got. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Lots of love as always. If it did resonate, leave a comment for me below. Let me know what hit, if it did. And I'll see you guys soon.